All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 5. We're now in Week 2. This is an open link match between Everyday is Mad Red Monday and the Longshots. On the side of Everyday is Mad Red Monday is High Roller, and on the side of the Longshots is Timp. And I'm Professor Render, and joining me is James FNX. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. This should be a fun little matchup here. Lacrosse division play. Every day is Mad Rat Monday in the Castle Tower division, and the Longshots and the Tower Hair division open. You can see the records down the bottom. Every day is Mad Rat Monday at 0 points out of week 1. The Longshots need to get 3 points in week 1. And this is game 1 and 2 of the week.
Yep. So Everyday is Mad Red Monday is still looking for a win, while the Longshots had already gotten their win. So it'll be interesting to see how this race will go in this nice little cross division one. I guess you could say that Everyday is Mad Red Monday is the visiting team and the Longshots is the home team, if we're going by that logic.
Something like that. We're playing Ambrosia today, which has us going with inverted start. See, our runners have a starting sword, ambrosia items, which means that all the bosses have item drops. There's gonna be no mask compasses or keys on them, and we're getting things kicked off.
Both players starting off in Link's house with 20 rupees because it makes sense, because this is the only one of the starting two in inverted that has an item that you can get from those spawn points. Looks like High Roller are going to go ahead and take a look at what the tier 1 prize is. Bombs on the Moblins, so that's a good way to start.
Yeah, gonna need a second one here in Hype Cave. I'm going to get the front item right now. We'll be able to try and just farm those enemies though.
Yeah, was hoping to luck out with a 3 bomb pack or a 10 bomb pack, but unfortunately didn't get it. So just another Moblin will do. We did see glove on Stumpy over on Timp's side.
Yeah, this is and there's another glove in so that's mids already between the two runners. Nothing else here in Head Cave, but if you see a little bit of divergence here between the two runners, Timp taking those 20 rupees and heading directly to the archery game by way of Stumpy, and pick up a bunch of extra rupees here by playing the archery game. Meanwhile, High Ruler did check those packs, did get paid off with some bombs, and did get that glove out of Hype Cave.
Yeah, early bits right out of the gate. It's a nice way to start off. And yeah, since it isn't inverted, it is very, very common for runners to start doing the arrow game just to get some money right out of the starting line. So there's those mitts over on High Ruler's side.
Yeah, a good chance we'll see a Moon Pearl somewhere between the front of Thieves Town and what we can check in Skull Woods. That'll be quick early access into the light world if that's the case. Generally these seeds kind of break down into either you're going through Agnum's Tower to get access to the light world, or you get a little bit luckier and see items like myths right off the bat.
Yeah, it's pretty common to see an Aga player at the start of an inverted seed, just because the barrier to entry is lower than it is with just normal world state.
Yeah, all we need at this point now is just a lamp to get into Agnum's Tower. You don't need a second sword or a cape. We've got the glove all ready to get up on the mountain. We just need that lamp to get up there, and looks like Timp might be heading up the mountain quicker than we thought. This is a very aggressive approach. Maybe it's just checking the bumper cave item, which is a heart container.
Yeah, I don't see going down. Yeah, I don't see the play for going up the mountain early. It is a very aggressive play, like you mentioned. It's more. I do agree with the fact that it was mostly just to check to see what the bumper ledge item was. Do you have our Darkwold map check? We have penance at Pod and Thieves Town, Green Pitted on Mire, 5/6 Crystal, and Turtle Rock.
Taking all that information in, Tim's gonna head directly to Village Outcast. I'm surprised Hyrule didn't just head into the village. He's got those mitts. Could just grab some rocks and come in from the south.
Yeah, this is a play that if I had bits early, I would have just went from the bottom. Didn't need to save quit there.
Imagine Hyrule's gonna take a peek at. Nope, just gonna head directly into Skull Woods. And another death for Timp in the overworld. This is the rough part of Inverted in general. Inversion doesn't really mitigate this. You start the game with green mail and 3 hearts, and everything just deals 2 hearts of damage to you.
And we do take advantage of that in Skull Woods to farm out bombs. I don't know if Hyrule might want to do that exactly, considering he only has 1 bomb, but he does know about the bomb pack on the Moblins, so that does at least, I don't know if that may mitigate the need for it, but oh hey, we got Moon Pearl.
Very early Moon Pearl, as I expected. And yeah, Timp does not know about that bomb pack yet, so I would expect to see Hyrule not take a ton of time to farm bombs. Maybe if that chest was a big key, might have wanted to just drop down anyways and save the bomb jump. But doubt we're going to see that. Our critters are on the magic pack, and Timp is in his way into Thieves Town.
Yeah, Thieves Town is a play that, especially in the case of Ambrosia, it's an accessible area that it gives you 4 chests to look at, and it at least gives you some. It gives them to do while you're in the Village of Outcast area.
So you have to be careful. Doesn't want to die until you get all these 4 checks out of the way. We found a map early. Looks like a heart container. So 2 checks left. Samaria. So Skull Woods having Moon Pearl and King of Samaria. 1 more item in Skull Woods because it is a big key shovel.
Correct, and we did see 2 items coming out of the 2 items coming out of Thieves Town. One of them was one of the dungeon items of note was the small key. Choosing to save quits out of Skull Woods.
That's interesting. I don't know if it's. I can't imagine it's faster to walk out of Dark Sanctuary to go into the Light World.
I think it's slower.
Actually, it's not slower because you don't have a hammer. You're gonna have to walk all the way around. So I think this is actually. a little bit faster. So Hyrule's gonna make these checks and probably head in the Light World over doing the front of Thieves Town. Lots of stuff to do already for Hyrule. Timp gonna make his way into Skull Woods. Hopefully not take another overworld death and pick up that Sumerian Moon Pearl here shortly.
Right, but Tim doesn't know about the fact that Hype Cave does have mitts. So that is something that Tim will have to try and maybe. Well, he'll get bombs here, so won't be too concerned about it. We do find Swamp Big Key in the brewery.
Yeah, there's not gonna be much left for Tim to do after getting these checks in Skull Woods. We'll pick up the Moon Pearl. Won't have those mitts yet, but I think outside of going up the mountain out of Logic, all that's left for Timp at this point is Hype Cave.
Right, all roads have to point to Hype Cave at this point because of those early mitts that we saw collectively.
Just kind of flip-flopping between locations.
So there's Samaria for Timp. And High Ruler gonna go through the checks that was done in Thieves Town. We'll find out that there's 2 in the front, including a small key. This because of the big key shuffle, it makes it so that Thieves Town is 5 items as opposed to the usual 4.
It's gonna have 3 items and then that compass. There is. Whoa, Tim did not get the moon pearls. Save and quit out of pinball room. So Tim's gonna head down and get those mitts, and then realize he's got to go all the way back to Skullwoods. This is just very unfortunate for Tim so far in this game. A couple early overworld deaths, not getting these early bombs. It's just there's still time to make up though. These seeds are long.
And because it is early enough, so maybe yeah, this might be a little bit of an issue for Timp. Does save quit out of Hype Cave after getting mitts. Meanwhile, Roller will be the first of the 2 to enter Light World. We'll go ahead and start with the well.
Yep, Kakariko, tons of locations. A little less. Almost ran out of bombs there. He is out of bombs. We'll kind of have to hope for some bomb dropped up. Never mind. There's 10 of them. Just sitting in a chest.
I think what happened was that the bomb didn't. The bomb was too. I think the bomb didn't break open the wall for some reason.
Yeah, it was a little low. Oh, Tim still has Overworld in Village Outcast to check before going back into Skull Woods. One place we might see Tim get some time back though is there'll be some divergence in routing once get done with Kakariko. Kind of have a couple of directions you can go. You can decide to go down, loop around, check Link's house, or check South Shore, come back up, do front of Escape, come out the back, or you can just go directly to the back of Escape, and we'll see which way pays off.
My ruler, while doing the Kakariko checks, had found Quake, the big key from Eastern, and a bottle. And we do know that Eastern big key is going to be required because all the Light World has to have 3 crystals, one of them of which being the 5/6.
Yep.
Chicken Hut has a heart container, and here comes that moon pearl for Timp. Ooh.
Oh no! Timp with another very unfortunate death.
It was close to it too. Just managed to get bodied by that Gibdo. Flipper's coming out on the High Ruler side in Sick Kid.
It's a good get. That will lead to even more decisions to make. That's the one thing about the one big thing about Inverted is once you get Light World access, you just kind of have to pick a route and be very specific about that route. And looks like the ruler's going to head to the south, take a look at library and maze race. Just $40 in the library.
I really wanted to check the race game blind.
I kind of like this. You're going to want to loot. You're not saving and quitting from here. You're going to want to loot back from the screen. You might as well just go in, and if it's something good, you grab it. If it's not, you just leave.
Yeah, and besides, we inverted in Light World in Inverted is basically your Dark World. So if you save quit, you're just back to the Dark World. So we now know what 5/6 crystal what 5/6 crystal is in the Light World, and that is at Desert Palace.
Yep.
High Roller going to look at key 45. If you have a keen eye, you may have noticed that there's a little VT where in this inverted mode where the light world is basically your dark world. That is that's the initials for VTorp. Quake was the one that had the Quake was in the well. That okay.
Yeah.
So then that would have been the glove and the Eastern big, or sorry, the bottle and the Eastern big was on the blind side, which I did read it right.
Where's I'm just gonna check these Lost Woods locations. I will do not check these two.
It shouldn't be hard to get to Lost Woods.
It's surprisingly a little bit difficult. It is a little bit difficult. You can't just flute here. I mean, once you get a flute, you can flute to Village Outcasts and come into the Dark World here. But it's always just a little bit out of the way in this mode. We might see High Roller come back here after the back of Sanctuary. Not much in the Lost Woods, just a piece of heart in a bottle.
Yeah, it's at least something. It's nice to have a bottle, but we're not like just clamoring for bottles. Any more Dorm Cave check coming for High Ruler. So far, not a whole lot. We do find a big key for Thieves Town. It is a pendant, though, so that essential big key does devalue it a little bit.
Yeah, no one's ever excited to do early Thieves Town in a little bit. I don't see High Ruler coming back. They're already checking the front. There are 3 items behind that big key. But I would be surprised to see High Ruler head back there before grabbing a hammer at the very least.
Yeah, not to mention it's also a pendant, so that alone is just what devalues it. Not just the fact that the Thieves Town, you only have like 3 items in it, in a very, I guess not a bad spot because you can float to it easily. It's just awkward.
Yeah. Red potions being given out by the Waterfall Fairy. It didn't look like there was anything of note inside those chests. And High Ruler going to continue on to Zora.
There was a Soul Woods big key in those 2. Not, it's one of those ones where it's kind of sucky to get that one.
Yeah, that's one we wish we had 10 minutes ago, for sure. Nothing on Zora Ledge. High Ruler is going to have to come back later if he wants to check Zora, because we don't have the money for it. Getting his flippers.
The Hylia Island only having 20 rupees, so that's now due for High Ruler to head up to the man underneath the bridge.
I'm going to follow Hyrule's path south out of Kakariko, so grabbing the items. At this point, those items are just that Skull with big key and that Thieves Town big key. You his loop around and head over either to the castle or to the Eastern Palace area.
So to answer a question from the chat, I think it's still unknown if Aga is dead. Mostly due in part to Lumberjack.
Yeah, none of our others have looked at Lumberjack Ledge as of yet, so there might be something sitting up there. Shouldn't need it for any sort of big bomb access. I guess there's a world where potentially both Mirror and Hammer are locked inside the pyramid. So that would be bad. But it's not very likely that we're going to nag him. High Ruler only checking out Strossla's hut. I'm going to head back over, and this looks like it's going to be a play on the castle.
I like this play. It's understandable because High Ruler doesn't have a bow. Although, because if you go into Bolus Eastern, this becomes way far away, and this is like at Saha Hut. It's pretty much the closest thing you'll get to the castle, where you can get a good chunk of items.
Yeah, a lot of people like to end their loops at Eastern Palace and just do a save and quit from there. Our ruler does that. It's going to be a little bit out of the way. I already have to check Strassla now. Tint starting to loop south. I'm not sure if there was like an overworld death or something that Tim had to save and quit and go back to Dark Sink. I saw him in the Dark World just a minute ago.
So he got Moon Pearl, chose to save quit, and then ran over from Sink to do the Light World checks.
He was in Kakariko just before that though, so I'm not sure what happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I ruler heading into the front escape. Locking out with that small key in the front, so we'll be able to take this all the way to the back if so chooses one to navigate those dark rooms.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I missed that one. What you're referring to. But either way, we'll see. We'll look at what High Ruler finds from the front of escape.
So far, one more check down here. Got Dr. Earworm from the Longshots in chat. High Ruler's got one of his teammates around here somewhere in my bunch. Oh, it's right next to me.
Yep. Hello. So High Ruler gonna go ahead and look at get himself low enough so that he can finish off ball and chain guard. Let's go for a bomb. Hopefully he can get something that would bring his hearts back up. Good. 10 arrows.
Yeah, had a lot of extra security on that one. Just refilled on the piece of heart, the boomerang chest. So it would have had to have been a heart container specifically, and Sank heart being the worst case scenario.
Yeah, that is right. So now Timp is gonna get that Thieves Town big key out of the mini Moldorm cave, and High Ruler will start the sewer checks, the Dark Cross. We'll see if he's confident enough to go through the rest of this in the dark, just to get up to the back of escape, and also up to Sink.
Hammer's got a lot of experience. I wouldn't be too worried about him making it through here, getting that chest. Timp living dangerously, a heart and a half, dodging these crabs. Preparing, that's the money cave. Is Timp gonna farm up Zora cash when he's here?
I don't think this is the right call, because you have to farm quite a, you'd be burning a lot of time to get up to 500 rupees.
This is 20 rupees a shot. That's going to be, if my math is correct, a lot of times in this cave.
Yes, and this is why I'm a little I'm curious to see the rationale behind that. Just it would be faster to go for the 51, but that's a little bit out of the way from where he would be. Oh, we do find Bell in the back of Escape.
That'll be an Eastern Palace play for High Ruler here in a moment. Tim may just feel very behind with how this seed has started and is kind of making a play. Sometimes you just feel like you have to make a play when you're sitting in the seed and you've died a few times in the overworld and things just not have bounced in your direction. Maybe Zora has that hammer. Maybe Zora's got a sword or fire rod or something that can kind of push things back in the Longshots direction.
And that's understandable. If Timp is feeling that much behind, then I think then it would make a. I think it would make a little bit of sense to just try and farm up to 500.
Look in Graveyard Ledge Cave. So that'll be access to Desert Palace inverted. You have to have that built to get into Desert. You can't flute and mirror like you can in normal. So High Ruler's going to end this loop at the Lost Woods. We might see a check of Lumberjack on the way there. It does make a lot of sense to get that check in. It's really never a good time to do this check otherwise.
And this will determine if Aga 1 is either required or it's dead. It's dead.
That's a piece of heart. That's not going to be required, that's for sure. Temp done with the farming portion of his game. Gets a heart container under the bridge. And gonna head to Waterfall Cave and then Zora. We'll see if the Zora play pays out for Tim.
This is a case where this is his farm. This will be determining what if the farm was the one that would probably try to get him feeling not so behind that he feels like right now.
Yeah, if it's a big item, if it's a sword, if it's a hammer, a fire rod, hook shot, something of that nature, this will definitely help him feel better about it. But Zora, more often than not, just gonna take those 500 rupees and give you something terrible in return.
However, High Ruler is taking the essentially the NMG routes to the NMG portal that would take you from what was it?
Yeah, the portal that takes you normally you go the reverse direction. You go from the South Shore up to close to the mountain climb. And Hammerler did leave Ice Rock Caver Bombos. That could be something. We do need a medallion to get into Mizramire. It is a pendant. It could be our way into Ice Palace, depending where the fire rod is. So it's not a total scam from Zora, but gonna be a bit for that one pays out.
Yeah, so that does make Tim feel somewhat better about it. It's gonna deter. Well, yeah. If Bombos are one way into ice, it has the fire up. Then that's the case where Tim feels good. He might feel a little bit, might be feeling ahead.
Yeah, that's what Tim's definitely gonna be hoping for here as the seed goes on. Grabbing our friend the blacksmith, gonna have to walk up to the portal to turn him in. Meanwhile, Hyrule are gonna make its way into Eastern Palace. 4 items in there.
Yeah, with that bow and toe, that makes sense. You found this during your front of escape. Well, during your escape play, and you want to capitalize on it.
Yeah, did choose this over Zora. So it does have the Zora cache, but we'll be going there later if needed. So I'm gonna see if that was our friend Eastern Palace. That was a map in our first chest, so nothing in the very first check.
It may have been a bit of muscle memory to walk down to.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
The Smith's having her hammer, so that is very early along in the train. That is good news for Tim. It's going to be a while before High Ruler gets back to that, I would think.
That does feel like it might take High Ruler a bit.
Really depends on what High Ruler finds along the way. If we find a fire source, Desert's going to look like a little bit better of a dip. Especially if we find boots, Desert will look like a better of a dip. Yeah, if we find like a lamp or something, the mountain comes into play. Could be the hammer could elude High Ruler for a while, or it couldn't. He could get funneled into that location depending on what we find from here on out.
Though High Ruler does have that book, which is required in Ambrosia, because you can't just like mirror from the Mire area to get to the desert area, because considering the inverted states, you absolutely need that book.
Yeah, there's no other way into the desert area. Swamp Palace, you still need the mirror to get into. Misery Mire requirements are a little bit easier than normal. Bits and flute. You just need a mirror or a flute. So those are the 3 dungeons. And Turtle Rock is all messed up. Is inverted. If you have a mirror, you can get to the back very quickly. Those are the 4 big dungeon changes between inverted and regular.
So it's still might be a little concerning because of the fact that Mire's screen pendant, and if one of the medallions is necessary, then that could be something that could push the runners into it, for better or for worse.
Yeah, we won't find that information out for a while though, so we still need a flute, or here to get into that area. So far, Eastern Palace not paying out too much for High Ruler. Did skip the vanilla big key chest, which I believe has a 50-50 shot of being an item at this point, and we found one of the 2 dungeon items.
So High Ruler is gonna do it. Go ahead and start this Armos fights here. Starting from the bottom, does get that quick kill. Does come up with a lane.
That's the sort of thing I was talking about. Now we got a lamp. Now Desert Palace is a little more enticing. Now the mountain is a little more enticing. That could push High Ruler away from that hammer for a little bit longer. And also that lamp is locked in behind a fire rod, logically.
Yeah. I was gonna say, that being said, that fire rod is logically required, because the big key, well, we already have it. But like, if we're playing this without the big key shuffle, if the lamp being on Armos is only true if the fire rod, if the big key is in vanilla and you had a fire rod.
And who knows what's in that? I guess there's just has to be a dungeon or a compass there in that big key. So found everything in Eastern Palace, and High Ruler's going to head to the mountain.
this was something that you were mentioning. The mountain being a lot more enticing. And with the hammer being out of the way, for High Ruler, considering the smithing situation.
Yeah, it's gonna at least delay getting that hammer for a little bit. Chat bringing up a good point. We've got a hammer, we've got flippers, we got this Bombos medallion. Ice Palace is, I mean, it's not where you want to go with a fighter sword, 6 or 7 hearts, and a hammer as your only weapons. But it is in logic, or partially. We don't have the big key yet, so the boss would not be in logic, but much of the upstairs area would be.
I wouldn't really do this. Do the cold stare fight anyway with 7 or 8 hearts at fighter sword. You would have to just fill up your bottles with like blues to at least stay in the fights more.
Our uncle giving us what he will normally give us in the regular game, magic mirror.
So that does leave us. That does bring up Meyer.
Yeah, Meyer area is accessible now if you want to walk down the desert and do that, and that makes that area even more enticing for High Ruler. Having that book, now having a mirror, you can walk over there, get Meyer's shed, you get Checkerboard Cave, whatever's on the ledge, and whenever you can get out of the desert with that boots and that big key. Just more things for High Ruler to do. There's a sword, so it's gonna be a nice upgrade for High Ruler.
I'm a little worried about High Ruler situation because that mirror does still push that hammer further and further away.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is getting things a little bit further out for High Ruler, and yeah, that mirror is locked also behind the fire rod. High Ruler gonna try the bomb jump here. Nicely done.
I wasn't sure if he was lined up perfectly for that one. Just knowing what I was seeing. But with that in mind, we're now seeing High Ruler heading over to the Dark Death mountain area.
Yeah, we got ourselves a mitts and doesn't have a hammer. It won't be able to get up top to start with, but we'll be able to get that portal at the bottom. First, we're starting with Super Bunny Cave. A couple checks here. Boomerang for his troubles.
Red Boomerang, which is the nicer of the two.
At least to one team in your group. It is.
That would be me. I think it's nicer, just because it flies farther. You can do splash deletions with it. We do see Bombos. You can use Bombos to get to the front of Turtle Rock, but it's not not required, so to speak, because if you kill Trinex, you end up opening the back of you open up the front of Turtle Rock. Yeah,
there are very specific item scenarios where that front of Turtle Rock might be required. Depending on the key layout of Turtle Rock, things like that. But yeah, we have a mirror, we have mitts, so we can get just about anywhere in Turtle Rock if we want to.
Do you find Ice Rod over on, was that Fire Rod?
Yeah, High Ruler found Fire Rod, I believe, in the bottom portion of Paradox Cave, or either that or on Floating Island. So the game wanted you to get your mitts, come over here, get your mitts, get your Moon Pearl, come up here to the mountain, go get that fire rod, and then go get your lamp and everything else.
So let's make the bombos not as prominent, but it still be necessary, like you mentioned, if depending on the key layout.
Yeah, and chat saying that might have been the ice rod we found. We'll see if we get a pause here eventually from High Roller if we get loops through it. Just a piece of heart on floating island.
I think that was ice rod. Like I don't think it may have. I don't think it was. Like I did see a little bit of blue tints there.
Okay. Well, then that actually just kind of puts the front of Turtle out of play. It's the ice rod. What you'd have to see is like ice rod in the front of Turtle Rock, and a key layout where you needed to get to the front of Turtle Rock to get it.
Yeah, and this was something that chat's pointing out. The fire rod couldn't possibly be on the mountain just because of the fact that Armos dropped the lamp, and the fire rod was required by logic, so it probably wouldn't have been there. So it had to have been, I believe, ice rod.
Yeah, unless there's like a flute in Ice Palace or something. Hi, we're going to use these iframes to get past one of these lasers. These bootsless laser skips are a little trickier if you're used to having boots in here. Some people just prefer the bootsless skips, but if you're used to doing it with boots, it can be a bit of a hard time sometimes. And Tip taking the Eastern Palace Big Key Chest, whereas High Roller skipped it. It was not in a dungeon item, it was just 20 rupees, so a good skip for High Roller there.
Yeah, so that did result to so that means that the that skip was as you said pretty good, so it wasn't too bad. Just gonna take a look at Crystal Roller from High Roller's side, choosing to bail out afterwards.
No reason to spend any keys you don't have to in there. And this is Inverted Death Mountain, where we're gonna make 3 trips. 3 trips from top or bottom to top and back down. We got 1 for Spiral Cave, 1 for Mimic Cave, and Chain Chomp Chest and Lava Chest, and then 1 for the back door.
So High Roller will go ahead and start the other portion of Turtle Rock, while Timp is on the way to Armos.
Setting it for the upper right quick kill.
Up, you missed
there.
Yeah, you missed an arrow. That means that there's no way you can possibly get the quick kill at that point. So you're just gonna have to play it normally. Everyone has to be a little careful here because he can get one shot by the skulls.
The skulls or the pokies. What we got here in Lava Chest, just a compass. And Tim getting that lamp. Let's see where he takes it to. He's going up the mountain or somewhere else.
I would imagine it would be up the mountain. For him, it makes sense because it's even though it's out of logic, you have some stuff to do on the mountain anyway. So
yeah. Chain Chomp doing a good job of guarding High Roller's new home. Does make it out. Now gets to kill another Pokey.
Still within one-shot territory, but gets it through.
Yep. And we'll be able to get to the front. What's still left to check here? We got a big chest and a boss and these 3 checks. I think we've only found 1 key so far, so we're going to find at least 1 key out of these checks. There's one of our 5 items. No fire rod. So that's it for Turtle Rock for now.
Roller taking a second to decide where he wants to go. Going to go for the Dark Chapel.
Yeah, this might be the Smith play, which will be very good for High Ruler.
So he's judging by the way he's entering the light world again, he hasn't considered going down to get the Smith. Although he does have mirror, so that may change things a little.
Well, it doesn't have a lot of options on how to get in the light world. It only doesn't have that hammer yet, so he has to come in through here. We'll see what he chooses to do. He might just mirror and grab the Smith. It does have that mirror out.
So Timp has that mirror. It does show that if you try to enter, if you drop off the old man from the right side of the cave, it will take a little bit for him to get into the cave proper. That's why you want
to drop him off from above instead of from the right, and he just walks right in. It's really great.
Just exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's faster to jump drop from the top and then claim it.
So Hyrule's going to get his hammer here. Would not be surprised to see him pick up this purple chest and take it along as well. Not really a better time to do that. You're going to be heading, I assume Hyrule's heading to the Desert Mire area, so not really a better time to do these this little fetch quest. One of the worst things to do in Inverted in terms of just things to do is this purple chest turn in.
In the meantime, High Ruler will do hammer pegs because you are close to it. You don't want to leave it out.
Yes, or not.
I'm a little concerned about that mirror portal positioning, but I don't know if
he can grab the rocks underneath if he needs to.
Yeah, looks like that's what it's going to do. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You could, considering the position of it, you may have to spend a little bit of time trying to get rocks. So,
yeah, Tim taking a death, trying to get over to the east side of Death Mountain. We'll have that save and quit spot on the mountain, so not a ton of time lost, but that's another overworld death for Tim, unfortunately.
Yeah, and those Lionels are a pain to deal with, especially with the equipment that Timp has, and also High Roller. Both have a Master Sword, so you can't just do damage to it. I mean, you could, but that would mean a spin, and that's never fun. And plus, like, the two Lionels at the end of the bridge are quite a good pair of bodyguards.
Yeah, and this B is not going to do anything other than move him around, which is enough here to get Tim some clearance.
Nothing of notes on either Bongo's tablet or the purple chest. There is a big key on the desert ledge, though.
That's a good get. What High Ruler could do here in Desert Palace, only one check he can do with no boots. Could be a small key, but just as easily the small key could either be in the big chest or in or on the torch.
we'll still go through this anyway because we do have the because we do have a big key that's sitting there on the desert ledge. Do find a small key in that middle chest, so we'll go to the right side.
Yeah, and I remember did pick up the desert big. I think that was in Turtle Rock, so we'll be able to beat this dungeon.
I feel it's actually in Paradox Cave, I believe.
Somewhere on the mountain. We'll see it in a bit on Tim's side.
So, right side was cleared out. Looking at the torch, it's got a blue mail. We're probably not going to get that.
It's 2 items out of here, so High Ruler is going to head beat the boss and then see if he needs that chest.
Tim taking a very tough death.
Timp is just taking a lot of overworld deaths this seed.
It's really hard. It's really hard to oh, Meyer big.
Didn't want to see that one.
Yeah, it's if you take an overworld death like one time around, it's like okay, whatever. But if multiple deaths do feel progressively worse, especially when it's inverted and you're head over to Paradox Cave and you take a death. I think those were the Tektites that was enough to take the fall. Yeah, that means you have to run all the way back here, and you have to just spend a lot of time just getting to where you needed to go.
Yeah, you got to go through these Lionels again, who don't take any damage from Bombos, and there's another death. Yeah, Tim's got to breathe, kind of get that out of your mind, and figure out a plan here. Because Tim is just kind of running into a brick wall here.
Yeah, this is and each death that overall death that Tim takes is adding more and more time to High Ruler. It's giving him more and more time to High Ruler. Speaking of High Ruler, he's on the Lambo fight.
Mixture of ice rod shots. Missed that last one. It's gonna have to depend on the sword from here on out. Maybe some arrows. Lambos are not cooperating.
And just 20 rupees, but more importantly, the crystal.
Him smartly here had already opened up the front of Turtle Rock down to 1 heart. It's just gonna refill his magic and fall off a cliff, maybe, after checking this item.
I think the better way to die in this case is just to take the spikes after getting this chest.
Yeah. Little risky, but there's a hook shot.
Yeah. Ooh.
Probably don't want to climb up the mountain again anytime soon. That does open up Swamp Palace, which is a crystal, so that'll be another crystal in pocket for the High Ruler.
Incoming to Gina's Cave, check for High Ruler. Just bombs.
Go check Meyer Shed and see what the medallion is from Misery Meyer. At this point, you've got Ice Palace, you've got Swamp Palace. I can't imagine that Hyler is going to hop into Meyer, even if it is Quake.
Yeah, it's something that, like, it's a green pendant. It is Bombos. Okay, so
it's Bombos.
So thankfully for High Ruler, it does get locked out. So that wouldn't be it's not a trip that won't be on his mind.
Yeah, that Bombos tower, that Bombos Medallion is almost never going to end up in High Roller's inventory at this point, unless a big key that we need is sitting in Misery Mire. Or that fire.
Right. The combos could still have some significance, and Timp is the one that has it.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that after one or two of these deaths up here on the mountain, Tim didn't just head to ice and kind of press that advantage a little bit. Like you have to imagine if you're in Tennessee that High Ruler has already done all the mountain stuff. May or may not have that Bombos, and Ice Palace being a place that you have access to and your opponent doesn't, that can be worth checking out if you're feeling a little bit behind.
Yeah, of course, you don't know what your opponent is thinking and what they may have, and a more bigger elephant in the room being Hot Ruler doesn't know that the Bombos is on Zora.
Give us some fresh checks as well. I'm gonna head over to Tower of Hera. I really do not have the hammer heading up here.
So this will also give Timp an ether check.
Yep. Just cash though.
So that means this is in Hera play for Timp. While High Ruler is in Swamp, this is 7 items in total.
7 items in total. We know we're not going to find the fire rod here, though.
Right, considering that Mirror was on the mountain, and which needs a fire rod to even gain logical access to it.
Yep. We're also not going to find a fire rod here in Hera. Timp is... What is Timp? Oh, no big key. So yeah, no big key, no hook shot, no further progression. At this point, this chat point out, this fire rod is likely a nice palace behind this Bombos.
So, if that is the case, then that will mean that High Ruler will have to go over to Zora at some point in the siege to get the fire out there.
Yeah, that's well, likely High Ruler is going to run out of things to do fairly soon. And go back up for Tower Hera, but knows that the High Ruler should know that the fire rod can't be there for several reasons. Could be in the back. I don't know. Thieves Town Big Q is on the mountain, so it's locked by the fire rod. So many things are just locked by the fire rod this seed. I think it's just got to be a nice palace at this point.
Yeah, I think it has to. If there is no other avenue that would lead you to not get that. So if High Roller is noticing the logic pattern, he will know that that you have to go to Zora to get the bombs, and then maybe be the one to press the advantage and go on ice.
Yeah. Several of these big keys we found were found on the mountain. There's another big
and with that
key.
Ice big, that may be one thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, it can't be. Ice Palace Big only locks the big chest and the boss there, though. So, lots of places in Ice Palace where that fire rod could still be.
Right. It is a suggestion at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think that might just push Hyrule in that direction, already being in the area. Got everything you need to beat the dungeon. Now it's quote-unquote in logic. We know that, we know and they know that that Ice Palace Big is Fire Rod Lock, but now you gotta get that Bombos Medallion first to get in there. Hyrule skipped left side, looks like.
He did do left side. I did see him do left side. He did.
Okay.
And that's where the ice big key was anyway.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So full clear in this dungeon makes a lot of sense. You're still missing some big keys. You're also missing that fire rod. There's half magic. It's a good find.
We'll never say no to a half magic.
No, you'll never turn down a half magic. Palace of Darkness play from Timp. This is a fresh one too.
I believe the pod was also on the mountain, so that also means Fire Rod can't be here.
Fire Rod could still have been in the front, but I think we've exhausted those options.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, if it wasn't, it could have been in the front, but at this point it can't be because we're already in the back.
Yeah. Into the Argus fight, use some spins, double hooks. Really well practiced fight from Hyrule so far.
Yeah, it's a fight that pretty much you had to learn a lot. We do get a little ice rod usage. Not just do only the 2 ice rods, not the more harder 3 one to try to do the spin on 1 cycle. But we'll get the crystal out of the way.
That's crystal number 3 for Hyrule, 2-1 for Timp. And Timp surveying the Dark World. Maybe taking a second to think about options. This might be Timp heading to... this looks like Timp's gonna head to Swamp? Ice?
I think this might be this might be more so of a swamp play, yeah. And yeah, as
maybe Desert Mire? That'd be the best thing to do here is the hook shots in that area.
Okay, so High Roller is on the way to Zora. We'll get a Catfish check first. This is the only way you're going to get around. Yeah, at this point you're going to have to show up here anyway, because there's no more options. You have to get that Bombos.
Yeah, there's no more in-logic options. So yeah, Hyrule gonna walk over to Zora, get that Bombos, and be on his way to opening up the seed out of Ice Palace.
So here, this will now give, I believe, Hyrule the advantage.
Yeah, Timp is out of outs in terms of what this Bombos can do. It's not really gotten enough back while Hyrule is hunting for Bombos. Still plenty of seed in front of us, but Hyrule definitely is back in a position where there's no information that Timp knows about that Hyrule doesn't.
So now High Roller's on the way to Ice Palace. Saving and quitting makes sense because you have to, because from the Zora spot to Ice, it's pretty slow. So going here makes more sense.
Gonna buy some blue potions. And one of the nice little things about Inverta, this shop was changed from selling red potions to blue potions, so there's an easier place to get blue potions pre-Ganon. Otherwise, you'd have to go to the magic shop somehow, and then mirror back, and then go to Ganon. Sounds awful.
It definitely feels it's not a kind spot. So All right, High Ruler is now into Ice Palace. This is a crystal, and at this point, this is where the Fire Rod would have to show up.
I believe this is it.
And if it's not here, then I don't know where could it be.
Be admire if there is a flute here in Ice Palace, but really we're just kind of chasing threads. There's something in Ice Palace that leads to the Fire Rod. It's either the Fire Rod itself, or a flute, or a fetch quest item.
All right, so High Ruler is going to go ahead and set up for Icebreaker. Here is going to knock down the switch.
Yeah, imagine if High Ruler finds. So what do we still need past that Fire Rod? We need a Turtle Rock Big Key, and that might just be it. The GT Big Key is in Green's Tower itself. Alright, we're trying to save this. There we go.
Fire Rod, Turtle Rock Big. Yeah, that checks out. Possibly boots.
The 1 in 22 of boots.
Yeah, it's 1 in 22 chance for boots to be acquired, so that's something to keep in mind as well.
The nice thing about all roads leading to Ice Palace is that it's a crystal, so we're just gonna beat this done from over here.
Yeah, this is just it's with it being a crystal. This is where the perfect time to go ahead and clear it while you're looking around for this Fire Rod.
Yeah, there's a world where you could see Timp gambling on Misery Mire, but Misery Mire being the green pendant, it's only worth. If there's nothing there, then you're just beating a dungeon for no good reason. This is the hard bomb jump. Well done by High Ruler.
I think that one is relatively lenient. It's just in my experience of doing it.
I don't know. I get that one like 30% of the time.
Huh, interesting. So
I may be bad though. So
yeah, it shouldn't be that difficult, to be honest.
Meanwhile, this jump is free.
Yeah, but I'm gonna choose to go for it because you have a hook shot.
Yeah, I got the hook shot. You just clip through to get the big chest. For one, quantity 1 arrow.
Yep, just a single inconspicuous arrow. Nothing else.
I'm just gonna face off against Landmine, doing some arrow strats instead of ice rod.
Incoming Colster fights for Hyrule. This fight isn't the best. Like, isn't like the it isn't like the best one. It's you could still easily die if those 3 puffs get especially rough. Just it does get easier as the puffs start to go down, like here.
Yeah, it's a fight you can do fairly safely if you choose to. It's slow to do it safe, but you can do it safely. Sometimes you just want to get right in there and start slashing away like High Ruler's doing. 2/3 of this fight down. And there we go. Fire Rod? No. You're not find anything in here.
Then where would it be?
Where could it be? What do we got? We've got Misery is if there we haven't found a flute, so Misery isn't necessarily in logic. But Tim's gonna dive in here.
Yeah,
But,
this is
back at
weird.
Thieves. The Thieves Town Big Key was on the mountain. No, Thieves Town Big Key was not on the mountain, was it? It was.
Wait a minute.
Thieves Town Big Key was down on the South Shore.
Pyramid Ledge. Pyramid Ledge.
Pyramid Ledge could be at back at Thieves Town.
Oh, yeah. Like I think the Pyramid Ledge might be what because this should be within logic. I think.
Yeah, Pyramid Ledge is in logic. We've got that hammer was well outside of needing that. There it is.
There it is. Yeah. Okay. So I see Pyramid Ledge is in this context very out of the way.
Yeah, it's incredibly out of the way. So all you had to do, all you had to do is use your big brain, get your mitts, get your moon pearl, immediately go or grab the smith on the way to getting your moon pearl. Immediately take the smith and turn in for your hammer, and then save and quick. Go to the pyramid. It's just that easy.
The main problem really is that it inverted that Pyramid Ledge is out of the way. Like in general,
it's incredibly out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine High Ruler feeling a little behind. Just like he feels behind just by the fact that that Fire was accessible for quite a while, and he just went through ice, didn't find anything, and just happened to find it when the next stop. So at this point, High Roller is in item go mode.
Looking at that Turtle Big Key now. I'm surprised that he had it up here first. That is very fortuitous for High Ruler. So, barring a GT Big Key on the torch, High Ruler's in go mode.
Yeah, and this is well within striking distance. Should this GT Big Key not be on the torch, High Roller is in position to try and give Everyday is Mad Red Monday their first 3 points on the board.
Yeah, sitting very pretty right now.
And in this kind of, I do feel kind of bad for Tim, because he had quite a lot of overworld deaths around the start and throughout some parts of the seed. It just feels pretty unfortunate that he might just be feeling this behind going into Mire at this point, knowing what we know.
Yeah, it's this is the sort of thing. You found Bombos in a very bad location. You don't know how much of the chain is locked behind Bombos. We know now that it's not much. So, yeah, Tim's got to feel very behind. He's just kind of trying to make plays where he can. And it's just unfortunate that there's going to be nothing here in Mire for him.
So High Ruler does end up getting Sprite zeroed, or something like that. Where he picked up something in the slot 0. That's what I mean. Slot 0. He picked up something. I think either it was a flare that spawned in, or he picked up something in midair that caused his bomb trajectory to be all wonky. He had to mirror to reset it. He didn't have to walk out of mire of hair directly, but a mirror is enough to fix it.
And he has the big key, so I was a little surprised that after taking all the time, he just didn't start climbing. But did get it on the second go around and date with Moldor now.
Just 3 hand flashes will do. Or hammer hits, rather, will do. Same thing. Mirror Shield for High Ruler on Moldorm.
Pistol number 5. Just Skullwoods and Turtle Rock left. So we get Turtle Rock done while you're up here. Don't have to make a mountain climb to get to GT in this mode.
Yeah, and this with with inverted, all you really have to do is just drop down to where the Fairy Ascension Cave is, and just mirror outside, and that will be enough to wait.
He's gonna have to make another trip because he has no small keys, and there's one in the big chest.
Oh, not a big deal. He doesn't know this, but he's got a sizable advantage. He might be feeling knowing that he doesn't have small keys. He might be feeling somewhat behind, just because of it.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing where that's the sort of mistake you make. You're like, if I'm behind, now I'm giving up another 30 seconds or so. That's not gonna help. Don't do that, High Ruler. Just go in the side door. I always not check the 2 firelock chests, so there could be two keys there. We know there's not one on the boss. This is an Ambrosia style items. Bosses have items out of the pool and not dungeon items on them. So I think there's 2 keys left in Turtle Rock. So there's either both up here or one in that big chest. Some slashes of contentment from High Ruler. I guess this works out well. You're guaranteed to have 1 key here, if not both. So, and all we need is 1 key. They're both here. Alright, forget the last minute ever happened. High Ruler gonna head down now to the back of Turtle Rock, go face off against Trinix.
Still not the most ideal fights that you can do, but it gets mitigated if you start with the red head first, and then go for the blue head, just until it dies.
Yeah, we're gonna see a mix of hammer hits on the fire head, and then some amount of hammer hits plus sword slashes and fire rod shots on the ice head in a well-executed fight. And let's see what High Ruler gives us. Head down. We have to wait to switch back over to Fire Rod for the ice head. Yeah, we're just gonna slash a bunch, throw some Fire Rod shots. And Ice Head is down into phase 2. Meanwhile, we've got Timp taking on Cold Stare, a little dangerously.
Oh,
Living
this.
very dangerously.
Ooh.
Too dangerously.
Yeah, this is what I mean. If the fight can get out of control, if you can't, if you have trouble trying to, if you let the cold stare, paths get way out of control, so that means you have to try to. I personally play it safe, but I mean it depends on the runner, obviously, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
Tim could just feel very behind. I'm sure he feels very behind and felt like it would put some pressure on that fight. You can just play that fight super safe, hang around on the top of the screen, and not have to worry about the little icicles coming down and just deal with the puffs as they come up there. But it is very slow. When you're feeling very behind, you don't want to do things that feel slow. Unfortunately for Timp, that is another boss going to have to come back to at some point. Going to make his way over to the ledge, get that fire rod, and Timp will be a Turtle and a once they got this hook shot, we don't need that Tower of Hair big key, so just a Turtle Rock big key away from go mode. Meanwhile, High Ruler headed into Swamp House. Or Skull Woods, sorry. Gonna get Blast Crystal here in just a minute.
and Timp is just one away from go mode, but it's just I think that this lead that Hyrule has is insurmountable.
Yeah, with nothing in the Mire dive that Timp did, even if boots are on torch, or even if GT Big Key's on the torch, so we're running out of places these boots can be. So even if you're playing for the really low percentage play that hey maybe boots are maybe you need boots to beat the game, that will get Tim back into it. We're just running out of places where Tim can find those boots and pick up time. High Ruler has chosen the caster class, and Mothla is spending much time on the spikes. Don't getting a ton of hits in here. Let's take this fight down though, and crystal number 7 will drop. Do you like numbers, Professor?
I like numbers.
Do you like numbers between, say, 1 and 22?
Yes, I particularly like those numbers because they're kind of nice numbers. if you're doing math, I guess.
Yeah, and what else they do is they let people in chat guess where the GT Big Key is going to be, the Gaines Tower Big Key. So if you're a fan of guessing and you're a fan of numbers, you might want to get a number in the chat because we'll be at Gaines Tower very shortly.
Well, I personally like to go by what was at the time Sahash Rabab rules. So it's the first person to get it exactly at the number, or if no one has gotten it, the first person to get it either over or under the value, under the amount. If it's a tie, then it goes off the first person to guess the number that's closest.
You get it right, you will be able to tell your friends and family that you won the GT Big Key guessing game today, and then you also win the privilege of explaining to your friends and family what the GT Big Key guessing game is.
Yeah, because your parents might be wondering, what do you mean by that? Okay. So
Surrender, where do you think the Big Key's at today?
I'm gonna go 8.
All right. I will go lucky number 11.
So High Roller is also on the lookout to be careful. If the big key is on the torch, it's a 1 in 22 shot. If that big key is on the torch, then he's on the hunt for boots.
Yep. And we got ourselves a mushroom. We got ourselves a small key. High Roller's going to continue on to the compass room. Meanwhile, Timp is got a return date with Cold Stare, this time with a fire rod and some potions.
Numbers 3, 4, 5, 6.
A little bit of safety, but no big key as of yet. And we're going to head over to the left-hand side, and we're going to find out. We're going to find out if this is... no, it's just a heart tear. So, we can put High Roller officially in go mode.
That was number 7.
Both our guesses here in the same room. It's not you. And it's not me. But it is Ethan Rebellion.
At least you get a small key out of it. At least it's like a cost-like prize. If it was 10 or 9 or whatever, I would have had an ether.
Well, in the map chest. Nothing doing there.
Oops.
And this red boomerang strats, for all you red boomerang lovers out there, a little bit harder than the blue boomerang strats.
Somewhat. If you throw it from the back wall, and then just kind of just like small, like walking right, then trying to make some small inputs to make sure you're on the right side of the peg, that'll do it.
Into a room. 4 more checks here.
It should be from 14 to what, 17?
Yep. $18 will be coming up in Bob's chest. Meanwhile, Timp clearing out Skull Woods. Getting himself in a little bit of pickle here.
Okay, so does need a bomb to get across. Bob's chest check. 15. Oh, I'm I'm a little behind. Oops.
Yeah, this will be 19, 20, and 21. And then unlucky number 22. Tile room if so needed. It is so needed.
Definitely.
So Reckonate, you are going to be able to tell your friends and family that you won the Big Key guessing game. You win Internet Pride, our adoration for the day, and a copy of the Link to the Past Randomizer home game, which is just Link to the Past Randomizer.
something something unlimited rando seeds.
That's right. A lifetime supply.
And for me, I just do a simple good on you.
Yeah, good on you. Chilling out here. Waiting on these tiles. Probably thinking about how long it took him to find that fire rod. And now time to head upstairs.
It'll be slow because no boots. I'd imagine High Ruler would go ahead and look at the 4 checks on top of GT because you're looking for a tempered sword or a silvers.
Yeah, tempered sword, silvers. Even another potion in a bottle would be nice for a Master Sword Silverless fight. So you can just kind of brute force your way through the first couple phases. No reason not to check those chests while we're up there. And River has no arrows. So this is gonna be a little messy. A little bit of a messy gauntlet. You generally like to have some arrows in this room to kind of kill things a little quicker.
Right. I don't expect High Roller to die through here, because then you have 13 hearts and blue mail. But if in the very unfortunate situation where High Roller were to die, he would have to go and farm for arrows.
He did pick up that pot of 5, and there are 5 in the other in the second mimic room, so it isn't that bad at this point. Yeah, we're through the hard parts of the gauntlet. Now we're gonna head over to Lambo 2.
Yeah, I was gonna actually add that part and said, oh yeah, since if High Roller had not gotten those 5 arrows from the pot.
Yeah, it's hard not to miss those arrows though. You're trying to grab those pots, kill those Stalfos pretty quickly. Do you see picking up 5 more arrows just in case we find some silvers up here? And the joys of no boots through this section of Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, this room is quite it's nice to do, and you know how to set up for the Wizard of 2 room. It's pretty simple once you actually know how to get once it's done.
Go through the guard rooms, light some torches, and now climb up. We get to check some chests. Now we get some excitement. I'm not sure at this point if you're High Ruler, if you want to see. I mean, you want to see a sword. You don't really want to go through tempered Master Sword Silverless. There's a flute, so that fire rod was the key to everything this seed.
Definitely, yeah. So it's kind of amusing knowing that that's part of the chunk fail. So last check after finishing this Moldarm 2, it's gonna have to pull the Moldarm 2 chest in hopes to find find either a silver or find silvers or the Master Sword. And if it says that silvers were in GT, we have to. It's pretty much known at this point it would have had to have been on the big chest.
Yeah, for sure.
But all is left in Moldarm 2 is just a Berna. We are gonna have to go through 52 spins, whether we like it or not.
Burn could be a little bit helpful. I don't know what High Roller has potion-wise. I think a blue. But maybe able to get a spin or two in where he couldn't before because of that burn up. But see, that's a lot of our runners. Master Sword, Silverless, no safety items. So in here, Agnum 2, High Roller, trying to do some geometry. Did a pretty good job of it so far. Should be through on this cycle. Good to go.
All that's left to do is to head into Ganon. We'll just drop in through the top of the castle because both GT and the Ganon hole are right next to each other.
Yeah, it usually leads to that can lead to some fun scenes where you're going through the GT climb on just a fighter sword, trying to find that master sword for this fight. The left spin cycle begin. You're gonna need 12 spins through this section.
There's a free double for High Ruler in this spot.
Yeah, a couple of them. Did get bopped by the spear. Nice use of the hook shot there.
Ganon is playing considerably nice here. Although it does break out of it to start phase 2.
Yeah, very convenient spawns for Ganon next to these walls, so you can get double spins out in some amount of regularity.
Now, one thing you can do, and I don't know if Hyrule actually knows this, is you can use the Samaria, and then you hold the direction of the Samaria block. Is that to get free spins wherever you want?
Yeah, it's you watch like Andy or Willer J. Bradley does it a lot too when he has Master Sword fights like that. If you watch one of his fights, you get some really good examples of how to do this fight really, really well with Master Sword Silverless, which is not necessarily my repertoire. And now we're in phase 3. Circle of Bats. Trying to crack that potion there, High Willer. No shame in a potion crack.
I think he's got fairies though.
He does have at least one fairy.
Yeah. Because he did have a bug net in his inventory, so he may wanted to maybe hold on to the fairy as much as he can before drinking the potion, just to save on resources.
Yeah, this is one of the little getchas of Master Sword Ganon is once those circle of bats start going on, it's hard to sometimes. Palace of Darkness has our other bow. Dependent. Must have been on the boss. I know Tip cleared a fair amount of that dungeon.
We went through pretty much the entirety of that dungeon, except for the Clifford Elba, so it has to have been it.
Yeah.
Did turn Ganon blue there, so it has to do just one spin for that particular torch cycle. It does have torch glitch. That is an important thing. You have torch glitch.
Yeah, that's really important.
With half magic, it's not as it may be a little precarious. You'd have to have a blue potion in order to get through it. Does take a phase 4 fire bat hit, but not in any immediate danger.
No, just be patient. Not really getting the triples you'd like to see in a super clean fight is going to crack this red potion. But it's not too bad so far.
Yeah, wants to be a little bit careful because he doesn't want to take a fire bat hit and hold the direction while being on the edge of the platform, because that does want to fall.
Yeah, it's that's the one thing you're just trying to avoid here is falling or dying. A little early on that spin with another blue cycle. Does get one hit out of this one. something for the team meeting, practicing these Master Sword Silver Whiskey and fights.
Yeah, it's a fight that is kind of tough to deal with if you like. It's especially considering you have to do like 52 spins, and then on phase 4 alone you have 24 spins you got to do.
Yeah, and if you're at the end of a race and you're feeling on edge a bit, maybe you got the race room open, maybe you're looking and seeing, hey, my opponent done, and if things just start to go sideways a little bit, it can just keep going sideways sometimes.
Yeah, it's something to keep to consider, but that does finish it. The 50-second spin has been accomplished. GG's out in the chat for High Ruler, and you will finish this race out.
High Ruler, get those GGs in chat. Winning this race with an official time. 1 hour, 39 minutes, 24 seconds. Tim hitting that pause button and hitting that forfeit button has had enough of this seed. I don't blame him. It's a rough one right from the jump for Tim, unfortunately. But a win for Every Day is Matter Monday, going to 1-2 on the season. The Longshots joining him at 1-2. And one more race this week in this mode. So GG's to High Ruler, GG's to Tim. We'll see if anyone wants to join us in for a little chit chat about the seed.
Yeah, it was a tough race for Tim for sure. Definitely something to take away from this race overall. We have High Roller in the green room. We'll see if we can get him in just a bit.
Are joined right now by our winner today, High Ruler. GG's.
GG. So that could have gone really bad.
Yeah, it was a scene like from our vantage point. Everything kind of sort of all the pieces sort of fell into place. That the fire rod had to be somewhere very early and very much not in a lot of locations because of what was found on the mountain.
Yeah, so at least I was like, okay, it's either, I was thinking either probably pod or pyramid. I'm glad I checked pyramid ledge first because that's where it ended up being. But yeah, between that and then TR, I mean, I don't know if I'll be playing this mode again since I'm done with it now. But if I were to play Ambrosia again, I probably would change how I route TR because that was kind of a disaster when I had to go get a key. And if I had not found Bombos on Zora, I would have had to go through the back all the way to the front. That would have been a huge time loss. I mean, it was already bad enough.
Yeah, we were speculating because Tim found Bombos fairly early.
I did not have the money, unfortunately, when I ended up over there, so I just linked it with Catfish. But like, I thought maybe Fire Rod could be there, so
yeah, yeah, he found Bombos pretty early, and at that point, I had already fallen a little bit behind. It felt like kind of a place where you could make some of the time up, depending on if Bombos was needed or not. And turns out it was not. But I did need to grab that key because of where everything was located at this seed.
Yeah, it was just kind of awkward. Forgot to grab Smith before I entered Light World. I forgot, oh right, I have Titan's Mitts, I can do that. So I was already in Light World, I'm like, well, too late, so I just kept going. And then found Mirror and went back for it, and I'm like, oh, well, good thing Hammer wasn't useful up until that point, because that could have been bad.
Yeah. Yeah, we were a little surprised that you got your mitts and didn't just head directly into Village Outcasts from Dig Game.
Oh, you know what? I could have done that. I just didn't think of it. I'm gonna blame that on it being, because I usually don't get nervous during regular races, but whenever it's like tournament or restream or like anything that's higher stress. Even if I don't feel stressed, I feel like I make dumb mistakes like that. I just don't think of them.
Just blame on Inverted. It's a bad mode.
Sure. But yeah, I'm gonna partially blame it on just it being a higher stress race. So I tend to make more mistakes like that. So, but yeah, no boots. That made me kind of frustrated because anybody that knows me knows that casual boots is my favorite mode, and I hate not having the boots. So to go an entire siege without boots and without tempered sword, that was annoying. Oh, and just wow, can I just say worst Ganon fight of my life for Silverless? That was just that was so bad. I was like, if I lose the whole race because of TR and the Ganon fight, I'm gonna be so depressed.
It's just a race and a reason to be depressed, and thankfully it did come out on top, and don't have to touch this mode again for the rest of the week. You let someone else in the hot seat on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not doing it twice, that's for sure.
It's like Saturday, 3:10 Eastern. It'll be Dr. Earworm versus SZZ.
Yeah, so the reason why I was like, well, because I had Master Sword and I didn't know where the other two swords were, but I knew they weren't in GT. I'm like, there's the chance that Temp found the Fire Rod early, found the Hammer early, found Bombos early, in case like he also did something weird in TR. Found like everything he needed. Hookshot 2 was in a decent place because it was in checkerboard. It wasn't great, but it wasn't like bad. And I was like, oh, great. So I was thinking Tempered could be the difference maker if he found Tempered for Ganon. But turns out that did not happen, so.
Yeah, with GT Vicky being where it was at, and you haven't been thorough through all the dungeons you completed. It would have had to been a pendant dip of some depth, given what we found.
Well, and it could have been GT Big Chest as well, so I guess that's a possibility. But yeah, probably Pennant or GT Big. So. But man, I was like, no swords, no boots. I mean, I guess it came out in my favor, but I just don't like playing those types of seeds if I can help it. So, well, anyway, I don't think I have much else to say about the seed, unless you can think of something else.
Not that I could think of, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, like, other than items kind of just being scattered everywhere on the overworld, it's pretty straightforward overall. I definitely could have played it better, but overall, I'm okay with how I played it. Had to, like, be very conscious of my routing the entire time because I knew I didn't have boots. And then I didn't know if they were going to be in GT because Desert wasn't locked by them. Or nothing was on Desert Torch, rather. Or, like, Library or any of that. So I was like, well, I was like, I'm going to have to be very careful with my routing. Ended up backtracking a few times to some places, but I just used, like, the whirlpools and stuff to kind of speed it up. So
Executed well-deserved victory today, and GG's, and we'll definitely see you next week for Casual Boots from the sound of things.
yeah, I'm excited for that one, actually. I might lose that one because, I mean, that's just how the mode is. Like, if it ends up being a random pennant and the other person goes in there and you don't, you know, there's so many different things that can happen in casual boots that it's not always, you know, whoever executes better. There's a lot of randomness involved too. Can come down to one item, one location. So I'm just hoping I can do my best, but and I'm hoping to get the win, but it's definitely not guaranteed for that mode, even though it's my favorite. So.
All right. Well, thank you again, and congratulations on the win. And yeah, 1-2, getting that first win of the season. So, congrats again to you, High Ruler. Thanks. Thank you so much for stopping in.
Yeah, so thanks. Oh, and thanks for restreaming. I forgot to say that.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's the story today. We got High Ruler picking up the win for Every Day is Mad Rat Monday, and Professor, your team is on the board.
Yeah, that's exciting to see. But other than that, give High Ruler and Tim a follow. They put up a good run for both of them. I also want to make sure that you also follow our tracker TJ the Pie Guy, and then my co-com James FNX and myself, Professor Render, for the commentary. And yeah, if you want to take us out, go ahead and do so.
So that's it for tonight here. Looking at our schedule for restreams, I think that's it for Wednesday. Tomorrow, there aren't that many races on the schedule. So do have one more race that's over on SpeedGaming 4 that's closing up right now. Between Kabuki Hundo Activist Department versus the Crystal Rollers. So that race is going on right now. Thursday, we got one race in the Invitational and a few races in the open group. Don't have any channels scheduled for any of that yet, but if you keep your eyes peeled either to the Discord or speedgaming.org, you'll be able to get all that information and see when late races go live. Make sure you're following all the SpeedGaming channels, SpeedGaming and then SpeedGaming 236, to get notifications when they go live for all kinds of different video games. And yeah, for Professor Renderer, I'm James FNX. That's going to be it for us tonight. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.
Take
See
it
you
easy.
later.